I'd like to thank you for attending Summit number 7 and taking the time to watch this video. I hope the information that you receive will be useful to you and your faith community in helping to reduce the stigma of mental illness and homelessness. I'd also like to answer one frequently asked question: what is the Summit? The Catholic Diocese of Fresno's Bishop's Advocacy Committee was created to encourage education and action to help mitigate the problems of homelessness within the Fresno metropolitan area. The first summit was held in May of 2012, attended by 165 individuals representing 35 faith communities, both Christian and non-Christian. I'd like to thank the planning committee of the summit, as well as the County of Fresno Department of Behavioral Health, for all the help in putting together the Summit number 7. If you have any questions concerning the Bishop's Committee or the Summit, please contact me at my email address. Thank you very much.
What I see on a daily basis is a lot of people who have had down on their luck or whatever it may be, whether it's drugs or, abuse. They are out on the streets now, and the problems that they're causing around here in the neighborhoods is not only unsanitary with regards to trash and their fecal matter, but it's also the drug use that we're seeing more prevalent now. Out in front of our homes, our kids are seeing it. They really have no place to go. There is a lot of options out there for people, but with these folks, it's like they don't have that option. They don't get the help that they need, or they don't want the help that they can get. So it gets pretty bad out here.
Working with homeless individuals in this particular community around the church, you learn quite a bit. Our membership has learned that it can easily happen to anybody. So many of us live paycheck to paycheck. A crisis happens in your life, and the bottom floor beneath your feet can open up and swallow you. So it's I think what we've learned the most about working with the homeless, helping and advocating for the homeless, is that it happens to all kinds of people. And then mental illness just complicates the situation further.
So I think that what needs to happen is people need to get together and help these folks, get them into a home, get them rehab, get them back out on the streets, but don't let them have it free. Have them work for it. Clean up the streets, have a community garden, something to that effect. I think it would really help.
I was left on the street by my daughter. She went to wash clothes and left me on Parkway Drive, and just me and my little cat and my bicycle. And almost froze to death. It was January 12th. And this woman found me and took me out to their place, which was an abandoned trailer court on Marks and Clinton. And then and I lived in a wooden box with my cat, this small wooden toolbox kind of deal. And for 2 months, and then they were going to bulldoze that. So I was for the first time in my life, I put everything in a shopping cart and made a little cage up front for my cat, and went from there to Roding Park. I spent 2 nights in Roding Park, and it scared the living Jesus out of me. And then I heard about an encampment that a good friend of mine, Cinnamon, was sort of the mayor of, the canal encampment. And I lived there from March until they bulldozed it in October. And then we moved. Cinnamon kind of took me under her wing and provided me with a little tent and a little area and a very close friendship. She's like my own daughter. And we moved from there out to a county spot and in the field. And it's this big old field. And when they were bulldozing us, Nancy Waitlow and the whole crew came to stand in front of the bulldozers to do whatever. And she told me about the eco garden, and wouldn't I just love to come and see it? So Nancy came out and loaded up my meager belongings and brought me here. And I've been here ever since. And my job here at Dakota Garden is to be a liaison between the residents and the board members, and to help with the residents and their goal and of taking steps to leave the eco garden, to get their life back in order. It's amazing the feeling that I got when I came here. People, stuff people take for granted. I shower every day. I like to read the book by instead of having to stop reading it at dark. And Nancy Waitlow is my hero. She's done something that we need a lot more people to do. She bought this property. She refurbished this house because it was all falling down. And with her total meaning for buying this was to help homeless people.
First of all, I want to thank God. I would really like to give it all to God. I know He was there the whole time, and I just didn't see Him. But I know He's had His hand on me. Basically, where we're at right now is one of places where I used to take shelter. I would sleep here regularly at night inside behind these garbage dumpsters, behind the actual dumpster. I picked this location because of the cameras, and it's a 24-hour restaurant, which means there's people going in and out. And I had a lot of safety concerns when I was living outdoors. I was actually staying with a friend in this neighborhood, and he seemed to be doing things like selling drugs, and it just turned out to be a really ugly situation. I didn't have anywhere to go. Paid him rent, got in an argument, told me to leave. This is where I ended up, and that was in 2011, and ended up out here on First and McKinley ever since. Basically, what got me help for the situation I was in, I felt it was time. I was thinking really serious about getting sober, and my mom actually saw that in me. She told me for the first time she saw that I was kind of serious about not using drugs and taking care of my mental health and medical issues, addressing them. She decided to contact behavioral health and address my mental health issues. And I mentioned to them that I had housing issues, and I got on a waiting list for Department of Behavioral Health housing, February of 2014, that I got the call. And I thought when I first moved in there I was going to have to come up with a first and last month rent and a deposit. So I was a little skeptical, and I got a call from a lady there at Trinity Renaissance. And when I got there, she said, well, let's sign the rental agreement and stuff, and what is your income right now? I told her I didn't have an income. And she said, okay, well then your rent's going to be zero since you don't have an income. And it was like I felt like I hit the lottery or something. I felt better than that, I was really excited. This meant that I had a new chance at life. I had some sense of independence. I felt like my dignity got restored to me. By being accepted, in the Trinity Renaissance. It's got everything you need there. That program, I got Department of Behavioral Health there. I got Housing Authority there. We got support. We have groups. We have. It seems like everything that I needed was there. It's amazing. I feel like I got my dignity back as a human being. Just got my life back entirely.
So, working with the homeless as a pastor, it's important to capture the dignity and affirmation of the worth of a human being. And what you learn is that the homeless are struggling to survive. They're doing whatever they can to sustain themselves. And sometimes individuals have a job. Sometimes they're going to school. They just can't make ends meet. And so it's not that they're unemployable or unemployed. It's just that it's such a harsh environment out there that can happen to so many people. My personal tie into homelessness is not just the sympathy and the stories I learned from the people that we work with here at the church, but it's my mom was homeless for a while, and so helping her to try to navigate the system and get back on her feet really reveals how complicated and hard it is to help somebody that's struggling with homelessness. And when you're struggling with homelessness, you have a number of other challenges too. And threats to your mental health might be there. Threats to your stability and your well-being are certainly there. You're vulnerable, you're on the streets, you're exposed to all the elements. And all these things just work to complicate the situation of homelessness. And so the main thing that a church can do is really help with the dignity and affirmation of the human being and work with the social helps that are out there in our community. But at the start of the day, when you're trying to help somebody, it's so hard to navigate all the systems that are out there, all the helps that are out there, all the resources that are out there. And if you're homeless and you find yourself vulnerable and exposed on the street, where do you start? Who do you turn to? It's an overwhelming obstacle to face, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually.